So a couple of weeks ago, when we were talking Green Bay Packers, I wasn't even thinking playoffs for the Packers. I was just wanting to see this team trend in the right direction. What am I talking about, guys? Before I get into it, take a second to subscribe. Okay. So I just wanted to see that this team was going to start making the right moves towards, hey, is Jordan Love going to be our quarterback for the future? Is Matt LaFleur going to be able to trust his quarterback to open up the playbook and, throw more than 4 yards down the field? Are we going to be able to see a better run offense in the red zone with Matt LaFleur's offense? Are we going to see Jaden Reed, Luke Musgrave be a part of the Packers offense, guys? All of that, right? So then we play the Chargers. Jordan Love looks super good, throws for like 322 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, right? No turnovers. That was so key in that game, right? Then you fast forward, you play the Lions on Thanksgiving. Jordan Love is his best performance by far. As a team, their best performance. They are starting to gel. These young guys are starting to believe in the system, believe in each other. And that is a recipe for disaster. Like I've talked about previously before the Lions game. Watch out, Detroit, because here comes Green Bay believing in themselves, believing in Jordan Love. Jordan Love throws for 268 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, right? And the Packers defense is starting to look good. They're playing together, even without key guys, right? Rashawn Gary is being like, hey, listen, I am worth the money. And he proved that versus the Lions, guys. So now all of a sudden we're talking playoffs, right? And we're talking where do the Packers stand in regards to the playoffs. So let's take a look at the current playoff picture. Obviously, you've got Philly, San Fran, Detroit. Those guys are not going to get knocked off of their quote unquote thrones on top of their division. And then you've got Atlanta. That could go either way between New Orleans or Atlanta. Either which way, it really doesn't matter. They are not dangerous teams, even though they played us well, but that was us when we were pretty raw. So let's take a look at where we stand right now. We're just outside the playoffs right now, behind Seattle and Minnesota in that eighth spot, right? But let's take a look at what Seattle's schedule looks like for the remainder of the year. As you know, they lose to San Fran. I think it was on Thanksgiving. And then they've got the Cowboys at Dallas, then they've got at the Niners, then they have Philly at home, at the Titans, Pittsburgh at home, and then at the Cardinals. Guys, that is a tough schedule for this Seattle team, a Seattle team that has lost 3 of their last 4 games. They are not looking good all of a sudden, right? So Seattle is looking like they are going to lose probably at least 3, maybe 4 of those remaining games. That's a tough remaining schedule. Let's take a look at Minnesota. Minnesota, Chicago tomorrow, Monday night. I am super pumped up about this game. Let's go, Justin Fields. I hope he runs all over the Vikings in this matchup. Then they've got the Raiders. Then they go on the road to the Bengals. Obviously, without Joe Burrow, they're very beatable, but that is still a very good football team. So Minnesota is going to have their hands full there. Then they play Detroit at home. Then they play Green Bay at home, and then they're on the road versus the Lions, guys. That is a schedule that, a couple of those games could go one way or the other. Obviously, Packers, Lions, and Bengals, those are all games that I hope that, Minnesota finds an L on their losing column there. Then let's go to the Rams, who are just behind the Packers. The Rams look very good today versus the Cardinals. So they're tied, but we've got the tiebreaker. So they are just behind us. They've got the Browns remaining, the Ravens, the Commanders, the Saints, the Giants, and the Niners. That's kind of a tough schedule. I don't see the Rams making a push. But let's take a look at Green Bay. Okay, so here is where Green Bay is at. Obviously, playing super good football currently, but they're playing against a Chiefs team that is coming to Lambeau. Guys, I feel it. There's something about this game. There's something about what is going on in Green Bay right now. This is not a great Chiefs team. This is a Chiefs team that is incredibly coached by Andy Reid. But I do not. Obviously, you got to give props to Patrick Mahomes, my least favorite player in the NFL. But I think that the Packers could sneak a win here, and if they do, I hate even saying it because there's just something about this game that I feel the Packers can sneak out a win, guys. I want you to leave your comments. What do you think of the Packers' remaining schedule? What are their odds? Do you think of making the playoffs? Do you find them beating the Chiefs? But say they get a loss versus the Chiefs, right? Then they play the Giants. Obviously, Giants are starting to believe in themselves and roll. But that is a very winnable game. Then we play the Buccaneers, Panthers, Vikings, and Bears. Guys, we have an easy schedule remaining. I think the Packers have a very good chance. I'm talking like a 75 to 80% chance of making the playoffs. That is something that I did not think I was going to be saying. I am super pumped to be even just saying that out loud, but more so exciting for that for me than them making the playoffs is that they're finally starting to click together as a unit. This is the youngest team in the NFL, right? And I think they're only going to get a lot younger after this season. Once we probably part ways with Bakhtiari, who knows what happens with Aaron Jones, all of that, all of those question marks out there. But this is a Packer team that is looking very good and they're starting to believe in themselves. This could be dangerous, guys. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Go Pack.